What's going on, YouTube? Dre knows back at it again, bringing you guys another video. So back at it here with some more Madden talk here. No gameplay at this time, but for those who aren't aware, there is a patch dropping later, or really, I mean, because it's almost midnight when I'm recording this. So later this morning, if you guys want to look at it that way, but really Tuesday is when the patch is dropping, where it's going to do a couple things here where, number one, it's going to increase the AP limit, which I think is good. I think at some point, whenever we were working with just 12, it was getting a little bit stale. And so I think with 15, you get a little bit more flexibility in terms of what you want to do for your scheme. So I do like how they did that. But because of that, it has forced some changes, some important changes to keep in mind when it comes to the AP and what abilities that you want. So for today's video, we're just going to be going over those changes. I know I'm probably a little bit late compared to some of the other content creators, but we're back. I just want to help the guys that follow me specifically. So I appreciate everyone that's supported me up to this point. So, big thank you, big shout out to y'all. If you guys are enjoying this type of content, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn those notifications on. That way, you know exactly when we're posting stuff on the channel. And also, shameless plug, as I always say, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/DreKnowsTV. We'll be live streaming tomorrow on Tuesday at some point, maybe a little bit of Madden just to try out the new AP system, and then obviously jump into MLB The Show as well. And then from there, we'll probably be back Thursday, Friday, Saturday for Weekend League. So yeah, just kind of, give you a rough estimate as far as what my schedule is going to look like. So go ahead and check me out there. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm in Madden right now, but let's go ahead and jump into it right here. I have Kralo's Twitter at Madden NFL Direct. So for those who don't know, we in this case, this is kind of one of the best ways to kind of keep up with Madden news. So let's go ahead, pull up the thread that came up. So as I mentioned here, looks like the AP for both offense and defense is going up from 12 to 15, which I think is great. Now, one thing that people are kind of sleeping on is special team AP limit increase from 2 to 3. So I think that's big because I think it's pretty much at that point it's going to guarantee field goals. Excuse me, I accidentally exited my screen there. But I think that's going to be huge, though, because you're going to be able to get focus kicker and clutch kicker. So not only is your speed on your bar going to be slow whenever it comes to kicking field goals, but you're not going to be able to get ice. So it's pretty much GG's in the chat in the case that, you're playing in a, in a close game and you need a game-winning field goal, because you're at that point with those two things on, you really have no excuse to miss a field goal, really, in all honesty. But, we've seen weird stuff happen here. So that's what we're looking at. So just looking at some of the changes that took place, so we see a QB playmaker went up to 10, which is a hefty price, and then regular playmaker for whatever position it's 6, so it moved up from 4 to 6. Route tech is +1, and then just looking at the defense. So this is really where where things are really going to change as far as the meta in this case is one step ahead. Now, I'll be honest, I've only been back on next gen. This will be my 3rd week here. Or not next gen, current gen. I was on next gen for the past 3-4 months, and I decided to come back to current gen just to get back into the field, the speed, and for the tournaments and whatnot. And I noticed in this recent weekend league that I played in, the amount of people that were running 4 one step aheads was unreal. I didn't really run into it a whole lot my first couple of weeks, I'll be honest, but I don't know what it was about last week. It was like a pandemic, really, in this case. So I am glad to see that the one step ahead meta is pretty much dead, because you're gonna have to dedicate 6 AP if you're gonna want to use it. And I know for me, for how I like to use my AP, I like to spread it out as opposed to really putting it all on one player. I think the only exception that you can really make it to is on the quarterback, because the quarterback impacts a game on every play if you really think about it. So that's kind of the one exception. But everywhere else, I like to kind of spread the wealth in terms of the AP points. So I think that's great. We won't have to deal with it now. There'll still be people that are going to be so dependent on it that they're going to run two of them at the very least, but then that doesn't leave you with a whole lot much out there. You may be able to cover two receivers, but there's still going to be two other players that are going to be open in this case, especially if you use the man beating route. So I think this is probably going to mark the end of one step ahead. And I'll be honest, I think, we're going to see a little bit more zone than we're accustomed to in this case. So, I mean, that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out here. So, I am intrigued to see what the meta is going to be like, the kind of what the shift is going to look like tomorrow when we start playing in this case. So, looking through here, other abilities that got impacted, we've got Deep Route KO, which is a solid ability, especially if you're running man, but that one got raised up. Medium Route KO also went up one. Acrobat, which went up one as well. Lurker, they actually brought down one, which is I was kind of intrigued. So that might be kind of one of those things where, they're trying to find a way to incentivize using linebackers again, which, might not be the worst idea, honestly, especially if you're able to get a tall linebacker. Hey, who knows? Maybe Sam Mills might actually be usable for once in this case because he hardly ever sees my field, and he's the mutt master this year, which is crazy. Inside stuff, they dropped it for linebackers. I didn't realize linebackers got inside stuff, I'll be honest. No outsiders, whatever. Edge Threat Elite, this will be interesting. I feel like there's going to be some people running that. I've ran it for a little bit of time, and it's basically like Edge Threat with the ability that that basically makes a quarterback nervous, and you're able to get those bad throws or overthrows or whatnot. I forgot what the name of it. If you guys know, leave the comment down below. And then Enforcer. So it looks like Jake dropped Enforcer down a point too. So we may see some Enforcers, although I'm not going to lie, like you don't really see a whole lot of fumbles in Madden as it is. So I don't know. We'll take a look and see what happens. I think the biggest thing, though, is just one step is the biggest thing. So now that we know that, I just kind of wanted to come back. Let me shift it back to Madden just so we can go ahead and discuss what I'm planning on doing just to kind of test it out. And then, let me know what you guys think. And, we can go ahead and move forward from there. So just looking through here, I don't think any of the quarterback abilities that I have, so I don't think Hot Route Master, Gunslinger, or Conductor got affected. So as you guys can see here, I am using this Brett Favre, the new Ultimate Legend that just dropped recently. So one of my boys, Sprit, he actually let me borrow it just so I could use it during Weekend League. I am planning on buying it. It's just I wanted wait for the price to go down. So I will be doing a video review on Favre. I think, in my opinion, he is the best quarterback right now in the game. Head way, way, way above and beyond any other quarterback that I've used in this game this year. So we'll have some gameplay for you guys just to kind of get my thoughts more in depth there. So stay tuned for that. I have been using the backfield mismatch a little bit more with Kamara as opposed to the backfield master, because backfield master is 2 points and the mismatch I believe that's what it is. Let me just take a look. I have my abilities right here, so might as well use it, right? So let me find out. So I have backfield mismatch, and it's only 1 point. And the reason why I dropped it to the mismatch as opposed to master is because I noticed with master, obviously I don't need the routes. I have Hot Route Master, and with backfield mismatch, it's better catching against the linebackers. But I'll be honest though, I was a little disappointed with how it showed out for me during my weekend league, because I still noticed the ability lit up when I would throw like a table route or a wheel route to Kamara, but he would get popped and he would just drop it. Now, obviously, if he gets popped, I mean, that's one thing. But, he was dropping some really easy catchable balls in this case. But that's where we're at with him. So our AP is still 8 right here between these two. And then in this case, Tyler Lockett is going up to 4. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. With one steps being basically nerfed because of how high they are, I don't think there's going to be as much of a need for Playmaker. I still think it's good, but a couple things that I notice whenever I've used it from my experience is that whenever you call Playmaker, I don't know if it like something that affects the passes, because I have Gunslinger on Favre obviously, but whenever I shift, like for example, like if Lockett's on a drag across the field and I playmaker him up the field, whenever I throw it, it feels like I'm throwing a duck. I'm not sure why it feels like that. Y'all let me know. Like, do y'all ever notice that whenever you are throwing to lock it? Because I feel like Gunslinger gets like almost canceled out really at that point. So I don't know. I may just go back to running route text in this case because route text was pretty good at the beginning of the year, but that was actually one of the things that did get increased one. So I'll have to see how that if it looks like on my squad. But if I were to keep playmaker, that's going to be 14. So that's only really going to leave me with 1 point that I could use the rest of the way, which I don't know where I would use it, to be honest. I mean, I could use it maybe like on red zone threat or something like that with like DK or Moss, but I feel like even with red zone threat, which was one of my favorite abilities whenever I found out about it, but I don't know, I feel like it's not as consistent. Maybe it's just something that I'm doing with the timing or whatever the case may be. It's just, I don't know, it's just not as good. Might just use it on identifier with the center in this case. So just, kind of speaking out loud as far as what I want to try to do for the offensive side. Now, defensive side, you guys can already see what I've been doing here recently is I shifted away from using the mid-zone KOs and just switched to strictly just putting acrobats all over the field with a couple double or nothings and then an inside stuff right here just to try to stop the run. And honestly, guys, like even though acrobat can be at times very inconsistent, in my opinion, I still think it's the best ability that you could put out there just from from an animation standpoint. I mean, this is an animation-driven game, so why not give yourself an ability that's going to put you in the best position to get the best animations? And I think that's what Acrobat. And even though they're increasing it to 2, so you look at it this way. So there's 2, 4, 6. I don't think they announced any changes to to double or nothing. So we got 2, 4, 6. Inside stuff didn't get patched either. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then I actually do have 2 more. So 13. Actually, no, that'd be 14 because Dion. And then in this case, I would have to take away one of the acrobats because I do have Simmons with acrobat as well. If you guys can't see, let me just pull them up here. As you guys can see, I have Simmons with acrobat, which that's actually one tip. And one thing that I don't really see a whole lot of people do is that I don't see a whole lot of people put acrobat on their user. I highly encourage you to try to use it on your user in this case. I've noticed some ridiculous animations, and I think it's single-handedly has won me some games just because of the animations that I get from Acrobat. And obviously with Isaiah Simmons, he's about as good as it gets when it comes to using, putting an Acrobat on a user. So just try it out, take my word for it and let me know what you guys think. Just, giving a suggestion there. But obviously, if I'm going to try to run this type of defense, I am going to have to lose out on one acrobat unless if I take out like inside stuff. But I don't know. I put in inside stuff on JJY, and it's been great for me. So may not look to do that. So we'll see. I don't know what else is going to change. I think I will say, like I believe I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I think this is going to be, the meta is going to shift more to zone again, especially considering people that are running, 3-3-5 and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but that's kind of just giving my thoughts here. And then, like I said before, kickers now they're going to be able to get focus kicker and clutch kicker. I think that's huge. That a lot of people probably aren't going to talk about, but I think that's huge. So, yeah, that's going to go ahead and just wrap up today's video. Like I said, just kind of giving my thoughts, as far as what to expect for tomorrow. So we'll be back at it tomorrow, though, on twitch.tv/DreNosTV. If you haven't followed, go ahead. Appreciate you guys following. I appreciate you guys joining the family. And we'll go ahead. We'll have a good time. Probably watch me rage a couple times, whether it be on Madden or the show, whatever the case may be. So, but hey, we're having fun at the end of the day. I think that's the biggest thing. So until the next one, guys, this is Dre Knows, and we're signing out. Peace.